Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's the Netflix live action series Resident Evil Season 1. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you feel like gambling, you can hit that little bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. So, best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I put up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right, with that wrapped up, you know what? Let's do the spoiler-free alert beforehand. The spoiler-free analysis, I should say. So honestly, I can't remember the video game for the life of me. It's been a dog's age since I played that video game, so I don't remember the storyline to the video game. Sorry, I just don't. Other than Raccoon City bad, Umbrella bad, I should say. Raccoon City, gone, whatever. This isn't that. It isn't the Raccoon City version of it. It's a different version of that. It is 8 episodes long, yes. It does star Lance Reddick, of course, as Wesker, Albert Wesker. So that's a little bit different than the video game, of course. And it mainly focuses on his daughters, and it kind of jumps time. So you start off in the future, it's 14 years from now, and then you go back to um, now, if you will, when all the shit went down. And it mainly focuses on Jade Wesker, one of his daughters. And things don't really get batshit crazy until I want to say around like episode 7, which is kind of weird when you think about it. But if you're just looking at it from just a show standpoint, not even a video game standpoint or adaptation of a well-known video game, um it can be kind of boring. It could be kind of a slog at some point in time. um and yeah, I mean, the characters are okay, but they're just not, there isn't enough there, I should say. It's not the best written thing in the world, but it's also not the worst written thing in the world either. It's just kind of there. Now, if you're a fan of the video game, you're most likely going to hate this show. There's already vitriol out there about people that just really, really, really hate this series out there and despise it and whatnot. It's not that horrible. Again, if you're a really big fan of the video game, you're not going to like this at all. So there you go. So for the non-spoiler version, and by the way, so the non-spoiler version, getting into it a little bit more, like I said, it goes 14 years in the future and also now. So there is an apocalypse, if you will. So that's where you get the 14 years in the future, and then of course the now, just before the apocalypse happened. So that's pretty much all I'm going to give you. Spoiler free realm, if you will. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, so is it worth your time? I This is the difficult part of it. It's kind of like, I went through and I watched it all, and I was mildly entertained by it. I wasn't bored by it for the most part. I mean, there was 1 or 2 episodes where I did fall asleep near the end. I'll give you that. But for the most part, I was entertained by it. I mean, I wasn't overly entertained by it, but and that's kind of a half-hearted yes, recommending it, but if you're a fan of the video game, no, don't watch it. It's not for you. It's not worth your time. If you just kind of want to watch, uh, a, m- a middling kind of horror esque sci-fi show that has some interesting things in it, then I would say give it a shot. Give the first couple episodes a shot and see what you think. So yeah, I can't I guess we'll say it's not worth your time. How about that? It's not worth your time because yeah, it just wasn't like compelling enough to push it forward and say it's worth my time on that. 'Cause if I'm riding the fence that much and I'm going back and forth about it, vacillating about it, I'm going to say no on that one then. So with that said, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the series or the first season anyway here. If you have not seen it, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section, all right? Giving you enough time. Just hit pause, whatever you're going to do. Stop the video, all that kind of good stuff. All right. So, the whole thing with Wesker being clones, which hits in episode 7. Um, it was kind of a weird time to bring that up, but Lance Reddick coming out looking like Blade, the main, Lance, the main Albert Wesker, if you will, and I thought that was kind of funny. One, and then two was just also batshit crazy, and then Lance Reddick playing later on, two different characters. So one is the Albert Wesker that we've been seeing through the series, through the first season here, and then another one is his clone who has been kept by Umbrella Corporation and is a little bit on kind of a I don't know, he's kind of impulsive more than anything else, and it's a funny character. It really is. So yeah, it was an interesting switch to everything. Uh I wish we had more of it early on. That would have probably made things a bit better. Um Following Jade Wesker around was kind of boring, quite honestly. And the kids stuff, from the now portion of them when they're teenagers, I guess they're like 14 years old or something like that when it starts because they're twins. Um, Even though, yes, they don't look alike, they're from different mothers, but they're from the same egg. And anyway, that aside, their story was kind of boring for the most part. I mean, it really was. And the whole thing with Billy Wesker, once she gets bit and it's the will she, won't she turn kind of thing. And it goes back and forth, back and forth, and it goes back and forth so long that you really don't care if she turns or not. You kind of want the new Raccoon City that they had moved into to kind of crash and burn anyway. Um, and let's speak about New Raccoon City there for a minute. I almost kind of felt like it was there was that movie that came out fairly recently about a couple, fuck, I can't remember what it is. They're looking for a house and they get trapped in a suburban nightmare kind of thing where they can't get out, and it's a supernatural thing where they end up having to raise a child and it grows really fast. And that's pretty much what New Raccoon City kind of reminded me of, is that that suburban nightmare kind of thing where you can't get out of it. Um, so yeah, there was that going on too. The future, aspect of it, once you have the apocalypse going on, was interesting. I mean, when you have the whole idea of a zero, as they're calling them, the zombies, they call them zeros. You have the lead zero who can spit out pheromones, if you will, and guide other zeros either to attack or not attack people. And I thought that was kind of interesting, but also that could have been done in any other, I don't know, any other form, quite honestly. So like a Stepford Wives kind of dystopia, in a way, yeah, that part of it was, yeah, CBM. That the way the manufactured Umbrella City. I mean, I know they're trying to go for a corporate look, but it was just kind of dumb. And Evelyn, God, Evelyn Marcus, who's supposed to be the head of Umbrella Corporation, played by Paloa Nunez. Um, Weird, but and then I don't know. It was just all over the place, her acting, and I just couldn't take her seriously, quite honestly. So it just was kind of weird. I mean, when the kids are acting better than you are in certain places, and I understand she's supposed to be fairly fucking unstable, but I mean, her acting was very unstable as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say no on this one. Yeah, I'll have to say a firm no on this one. It's not worth your time. Um, there aren't really that. I mean, you do get zombies near the end. You don't get a lot of them. They scattered throughout, but not a lot. And it's mostly in the future scenes. You don't get them in the present scenes, of course, because the apocalypse hasn't happened as of yet. You do get one zombie dog. You get a gigantic zombie alligator and a gigantic zombie caterpillar, I believe is what it is. And that's pretty much the extent of it. And of course, it ends with a cliffhanger with Jade Wesker's daughter being taken by her sister, Billy, who is using basically, she was using the blood of either Jade and now of course, her daughter in order to keep her cellular degeneration from happening, which is what Wesker had been using the girls for to begin with anyway, because he was a clone and he was degenerating. So he was injecting himself with their blood to keep his cells from deteriorating and just breaking down from the inside out. Yeah, I mean, like I said, interesting concepts. It's there, but the execution, not so great. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it at that. There are going to be other people that are going to rip the shit out of this. I already know this online. There already are people that are ripping the shit out of it online. So I'm going to leave that to them to do. Um, for me, like I said, it was okay. It was slightly entertaining. It wasn't horribly bad. I've seen a lot worse, and it wasn't great either. It just was kind of middle of the road. I've seen worse Netflix stuff. I really have. So I'll tell you this: I like the first Resident Evil movie a lot better. The first Resident Evil movie was a fun zombie flick. Everyone hates on it. I know, because they're like, it's not the video game. It's not the video. I don't care. It was a fun zombie flick. It really was. Yeah, Mila Jovovich kicked some ass. It was a lot of fun. So there you go. But yeah, not worth your time. You can go ahead and watch something else on Netflix. I would highly recommend Cooking with Cannabis. It's basically background fodder. Then yeah, you could put it on the background CBM if that's all you want. If you just want some background noise, then that'll do. But yeah, not worth it. What else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow I'm going to be off. Friday, I'm going to try and cover some Comic-Con news and see what's out there. So Comic-Con's doing this, it's a weird amalgam right now. So it's the first year back after 2 years of not being, there, I guess. Well, they were doing their online thing, I guess you can say, and their online thing was pretty horrible. Marvel is going to be doing most of their stuff online as well, which has me kind of frightened. So I'm listed as press in their records someplace. So I'm getting emails sporadically here and there of things that are coming in, and Marvel was one of them. And they just said, "Yep, we're doing our." We're going to be covering stuff from like 1 p.m. Pacific time to, and then again at, I forget what they said, 11 a.m. Oh, and 11 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. That's what it is, Pacific time. So I'll give it a shot and see what they've got going on. But I don't hold hope out for anything coming from that. But that's what I'll do on Friday. I'll cover the Comic-Con stuff. Saturday, I'll be off. Sunday will be the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off. And most likely, again, it's going to be Comic-Con news. It's all going to be that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll be covering that. And then Monday will be Westworld, of course. Westworld is still going on. And I believe there's some new stuff coming up next week. So look over at suspendedfanimation.com. There we go. Yes, there is going to be Harley Quinn starts on the 28th, which is a Thursday. And so does Paper Girl starts on the 29th, which is a Friday. So that's next week. So we'll see from there. But Monday will be Westworld. Tuesday I'll be off. Wednesday will probably be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet, but I will find something and we'll see what it is. Yeah, and also Gennady Tartakovsky's Primal premieres tomorrow. Actually, at midnight is when it happens. CBM says, well, both Marvel and DC do their big announcements at their own events usually. Not really. They save some stuff for Comic-Con, definitely. They've been seeing their events that they've been doing have been doing all that well. So they're bringing it up at Comic-Con where everyone else is releasing their stuff. So word is that Henry Cavill is going to announce another Superman movie because supposedly he's attending or he's there in attendance right now at Comic-Con. And so that's the other rumor that's going on with that. But we'll see. Again, I don't have too much hope for this con, this one. Hey, Warren, what's going on? Have you seen Aronofsky's? That's not Aronofsky's Crime of the Futures. It's David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future, and I haven't. I'm not really into the body, horror stuff, which is what a lot of Cronenberg stuff is now. Granted, Existence is probably, I think, my favorite film of his, which is a lot of body horror to it, but I can't watch it again. It's pretty disgusting. Yeah, I know what you were talking about, man. So, but no, I have not seen it. CBM says so far the most odd rumor was the Marvel Steven Spielberg one. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fucking rumors out there, man. I just wait until they, this week was going to be the week where news was going to come out, so just leave it at that. Yeah, Existence did not get a lot of press because it came out the same week that a little movie that came out. You might have heard of it, maybe not, called The Matrix. Came out the same week, and they pretty much had the same similar storyline. And so yeah, and Existence also only came out in like art house movies and theaters, things like that. And so yeah, it didn't get a wide release as The Matrix did. So, but still worth a look. I mean, Cronenberg's always good to look at. Yeah, Dark City also got screwed because of that same. Yeah, well, Dark City got screwed because of their release schedule too, and also the editing on that and stuff like that. And yeah, plus there's some stuff that I think Aronofsky was also dealing with some backlash. I think still from The Crow, if I remember correctly, from Dark City. So, and rightfully so. Yes, I believe we did see Existence together. I believe we did over at the old Embarcadero Theater. Oh yeah, Warren's a good friend of mine, like an old friend of mine. So yeah, we've seen lots of shit together. So anyway, I should probably let you guys go for the rest of the night. I will be back. What is it? Sirius says people thought a movie with sci-fi mind-bending plot would be a hit with a mainstream. Yeah, I know. Hey Sirius, by the way, did you receive something in the mail by any chance? Just wondering if maybe something evil might have come in the mail. Just wondering if maybe. Oh, you did. Okay, great. Good. I'm glad he made it. The pogo has arrived. All right, good. I'm glad it found a good home. to be evil in. But anyway, I want to thank everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library. I believe I'm at 949 right now. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Sirius says his eyeglasses are clearly attached directly to his eyeballs. Yes. It was a weird sculpt they did on that one, I have to admit. You're gonna put them in Annabelle spinoffs? Well, they're already like 15 Annabelle spinoffs going on anyway. So yeah. All right, everybody. I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again on Friday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up in a weird amalgam of a movie that's supposed to be based on a video game, but you wind up dressed as Blade at some point, but only in the 7th episode and midway through the 7th episode too, which is just kind of a weird thing. Anyway, I digress. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Friday. Excuse me. Stay safe, take care. Wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well, especially those of you motherfuckers that are at Comic-Con. You hopefully got boosters and are masked up, because Concred's not the only thing that's floating around that convention center over there. Stay safe out there, everybody, and wear those masks, because it's rising again. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Friday. Have a good rest of your night and take care, everyone. Thanks. Good night.